blood found in dinosaur bones. This is SkyWatchTV for Thursday, December 10th, 2015. I'm Derek Gilbert. Researchers at North Carolina State University have confirmed that blood vessels found in the fossilized bones of a hadrosaur are in fact from the dinosaur and not contamination from other biological sources. Over the last 10 years, preserved blood vessels and soft tissue like collagen have been discovered in a number of dinosaur fossils. Now, before that, it was believed by scientists that soft tissue could not possibly be preserved for more than 1 million years or so. And that was under ideal conditions, like, frozen. But rather than questioning the timeline of evolution with these new discoveries, researchers are now tasking themselves with figuring out how collagen can remain preserved for 80 million years, even when the bones haven't been preserved under ideal conditions. And we're the ones whose faith is supposed to be blind. Now, genetic science and new developments may soon allow us to recreate creatures like the dinosaurs. Now, I'm not talking about Jurassic Park, extraction of DNA from mosquitoes preserved in amber, but tinkering with the genetic code of creatures living in the here and now. As we discussed last week on Sci Friday, geneticists last week gathered in Washington, D.C. for a historic summit to discuss the ethics of tinkering with the human genome. But they spent very little time talking about the DNA code of the animal kingdom. As we previously reported, a Chinese company has already announced plans to build a cloning factory to mass produce cattle embryos for high-quality beef. They also plan to do research with primate DNA, apes. So, what's to stop do-it-yourself biohackers, and believe it or not, that is a thing, from trying to create custom animals for fun and profit? Say, a dragon-like creature with flappable wings, or a horse with a horn to create an honest-to-goodness unicorn. See, as one researcher recently wrote, humans are terrible laboratory animals. We don't follow instructions, we have long generation times, and we can hire lawyers. Not so for members of the animal kingdom. Already, biohackers have created green rabbits, and one of the hot gifts this holiday season is the glowfish, a patented and trademarked genetically modified fluorescent fish. All it takes is one would-be Dr. Moreau to create the next invasive species to make life on Earth a lot more exciting than we would like. Remember, killer bees, which weren't even created by tinkering with DNA, just simple crossbreeding, were supposed to be a strain of bee that would just produce more honey. And then they escaped from the facility in Brazil, and you know the rest. It's like the old saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. The road to genetic Armageddon, likewise. This doesn't even consider the implications of groups that really want to create something harmful, groups that may be tinkering with the DNA, genetic code of bacteria, viruses, trying to create the next virulent pathogen to kill lots and lots of people. You see, the equipment needed to begin working on your own genetic modification cost only a few $100s. And when it comes to playing with the code that God used to create life around us, we are still like infants playing with power tools. And in a sense, that applies to the internet as well. If you're a parent or a grandparent, you want to pay attention to this. There's a new social media app I have to tell you about. You see, us old people keep ruining the internet for our kids and grandkids. I remember a few years ago, our daughter, Nicole, complained that old people like Sharon and me had ruined Facebook and Twitter for her and her friends because they couldn't operate out of sight. We knew how to look in on what she was doing. Well, there have been a number of apps that teens have turned to over the last 10 years or so to get away from the prying eyes of mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa. Instagram, Vine, Tumblr, self-destructing apps that automatically erase messages shortly after they're sent, sort of like the instructions that Mr. Phelps received at the beginning of every episode of Mission Impossible. Apps like Snapchat and Burn Note, Yik Yak, very popular on college campuses right now. In fact, Yik Yak was the app used to send racist threats to students protesting at the University of Missouri recently. There's a new one aimed at high school students, and this is the one I want to tell you about. It's called After School. It has already attracted between 2 and 10 million users, according to its developers, and it's only been out for about a year. That's a lot. There are only about 15 million high school students in all of the United States. Users can post to message boards that are associated with specific high school campuses, but the appeal to After School is that users are anonymous. So you can say anything about anybody and no one knows who you are. The problem, of course, is that this facilitates harassment, threats, and cyberbullying. A month after the app was released last November, a 17-year-old student in Michigan was arrested after he posted that he'd rather take his AR-15 to school and practice on his classmates than go to the gun range. A girl in Maryland recently had to change her mobile phone number because somebody posted it to After School, along with instructions to ask her for personal photos. The anonymity, or the illusion of it, means that users believe they aren't accountable for what they post, and that leads to bad behavior. After School is now reportedly being used on over 22,000 high school campuses across the country. You and I will probably never see what it actually looks like. One way the developers assure their users that only other high school students are accessing the app is that it checks your Facebook profile to make sure you have indicated you're a member of a student at a certain school. Now, of course, if you really want to, you could create a fake Facebook profile and lie. And certainly, while you and I probably aren't inclined to lie in order to find out what's going on there are no doubt sexual predators who have no qualms about doing so. And that's the other aspect of this app that is so dangerous. If I'm just finding out about this now, a year after it's been released, no doubt those who have an interest in targeting certain specific vulnerable groups of teens have known about this almost from day one. And those sexual predators certainly have no qualms about lying to get access to what they see as a target-rich environment. So Mom, Dad, please be warned. Know what your kids are into, even if it makes them unhappy when you insist that you see. In other news, details are coming out about a plot to kill Pope Francis. Italian authorities, week before last, arrested 4 people in Italy and Kosovo, suspected of planning to kill the Pope. All 4 are from Kosovo originally. That's a region inside Serbia that claimed independence, not recognized around the world as independent. And all 4 had claimed allegiance to the Islamic State. Now, one interesting note here. Regardless of how serious this threat actually is, the 4 allegedly claimed on social media that Francis would be the last pope. And this begs a question, just curious, does ISIS believe in the prophecy of the popes? Do radical Islamists actually believe that Pope Francis is Petrus Romanus? And if so, how does that affect their apocalyptic worldview? Francis, by the way, has officially opened the door on what he's calling his Holy Year of Mercy. He pushed open the huge bronze doors of St. Peter's Basilica and walked through, which begins a rite of pilgrimage that dates back centuries, old tradition in the Roman Catholic Church. As many as 10 million people may visit Rome as part of this during the coming year. 5,000 additional police and soldiers have been deployed to Rome and around the Vatican City to protect the pilgrims from possible terrorist attack. There's also a no-fly zone in effect over Rome now. These holy years, or jubilees, normally only occur about every 25 to 50 years. They encourage Roman Catholics to make the pilgrimage to the Vatican. The theme of this year emphasizes mercy over judgment. The last jubilee declared by the Roman Catholic Church was in 2000, when 25 million pilgrims traveled to the Vatican to usher in the new millennium. More details are coming out about the terror attack in San Bernardino last week. Syed Farouk reportedly received a bank deposit of over $28,000 from webbank.com 2 weeks before the attack. Investigators are still tracking where that money came from. And it appears that Farouk and his wife, Tashfeen Malik, had planned this attack for up to a year before carrying it out, practicing at the gun range and making financial preparations. The FBI is still looking into potential ties with terrorist organizations overseas. A new intelligence report prepared for the White House concludes that the Islamic State could go worldwide if it isn't destroyed on the ground in Syria and Iraq. The 8-page report includes analysis from the CIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency, the NSA, and other members of the U.S. intelligence community. ISIS is believed to have recruited over 30,000 foreign jihadists within the last 18 months. Baghdad's ultimatum to Turkey has expired, and we are now waiting for the other shoe to drop. You remember that Iraq's prime minister had issued a 48-hour notice to the Turkish troops deployed near Mosul, get out or else. Shiite militias have warned that they will attack the Turkish soldiers, but again, Mosul, which is controlled by the Islamic State, is between the Turkish military base and the areas controlled by the Shiite militias. So it's not clear that this threat really carries any weight. Discussions are continuing at the United Nations to try to defuse the situation between Turkey and Iraq. The Satanic Temple has done it again. More press. The group has promised to bring its controversial Snaketivity display to the Michigan State Capitol. This is in response to an announcement by supporters of presidential candidate Senator Ted Cruz that they plan to stage a live nativity at the Michigan State Capitol. And a Santeria priest has been arrested in Hartford, Connecticut after human remains were found at his home. 32-year-old Amador Medina is accused of stealing the bones from a Massachusetts mausoleum that dates back to 1903. Medina told investigators that he wanted the bones for a religious ceremony. This Tuesday on SkyWatch TV, we discuss one of the most mysterious aspects of 20th century American history, and that is the monument in Georgia called the Georgia Guidestones. Chris Pinto, the producer of a new documentary film called Dark Clouds Over Elberton, joins us to talk about the Georgia Guidestones and the mysterious man known only as R.C. Christian. He and co-producer Dr. Michael Bennett have cracked the mystery. You'll find out more Tuesday night on SkyWatch TV, which airs at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday night on the Christian Television Network. That's DirecTV Channel 376, Dish Network 267, Glory Star Satellite Channel 117, and the live stream at the Christian Television Network's website is ctnonline.com. The discussion with Chris Pinto about the Georgia Guidestones, Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's UTC-5 on SkyWatch TV. During the month of December, our gift to you for your gift of financial support relates to the holidays. What might have happened to Ebenezer Scrooge after the conclusion of the Charles Dickens story? Donna Howell has let her imagination go with that and produced the novel Ebenezer, The Final Years of Scrooge. We will add to that 3 hours of Christmas music in Latin, African, and Celtic styles, the World Christmas CD collection, a $30 value there, and a keepsake ornament for your tree. All of those are gift to you for your gift of any amount during the month of December. U.S. residents only, please. And instructions on how to give posted at skywatchtv.com. And when I put something out there on the interwebs, it goes to one of these places, Twitter, Facebook, and my website. Log on there. And if you've got comments, questions, or suggestions for me, please send those to dgilbert@skywatchtv.com. Tomorrow, Sci Friday. Until then, thanks for watching. As we keep watch, I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is SkyWatch TV. The holidays are on us, and this Christmas, SkyWatch TV can help you give the gift of preparedness to the ones you love.
How better to show your love to your family than to buy something that will help them when their electricity goes out, when everything fails, and we all know that there's a possibility of that happening. This is the time to buy, because if you go to our store, you'll find the buy this, get that free special. And trust me, the buy this items, they're already discounted, so you're going to save money on that. And you get a wonderful item, in addition, free.
That's right. Go to skywatchtvstore.com and look for the Christmas specials. Now, as a news junkie, I'm really excited about some of the crank radios. When times get tough and you need to know what's going on.
Are they just for cranks?
Well, it's perfect for me then, because you can, without batteries, be able to find out exactly what's going on. They're crank radios, including a two-way radio, so you can communicate with friends and family in an emergency.
I think that's incredible. We've got a hand crank radio at home that we use a lot. I hope it never happens, but more than likely the day's going to come. Even if it's just a power outage from a storm, you're going to need something to hear the weather on. We've got seed kits, emergency ration kits, Berkey water filters. I mean, it's all the things you wanted to get for prepping and you wanted to save money, or you want to give to your family members. Now's the time to buy.
And many of those seed kits are heirloom seeds, the kind of things that you don't typically get when you go to the store to buy seeds. Seeds that you can basically when the plant ripens, you can save some of those seeds and plant them again next year.
You can. It's almost a buy once, have them forever sort of thing if you just save from year to year. And they're non-GMO.
Exactly. Plenty of other items in the store, including more information, books that tell you about how to prepare and plan for times that are troublesome. And certainly that would describe the age we're living in right now.
Buy this. Get that free. You gotta love it.
Yep. Give the gifts of preparedness this holiday season. SkyWatch TV, SkyWatchTVstore.com. And again, Merry Christmas from SkyWatch TV.